Well, good morning, everyone. We welcome you to our monthly Coffee with the Community series here from the District Administration Center. I guess I should lead off. We're in a different space this month as we had some conflicts in our normal space on third floor. We're down at first floor, and we want to thank our Human Resources Department for accommodating us here this month. As you can see behind me, we have our topic this month being school lunches, school buses, and school health. So we have actually four individuals that will be presenting today on these respective departments, and they will be introducing themselves in just a moment. My name is Dallas Ackerman, Director of Communications in Liberty Public Schools. We appreciate not only our folks that have joined us live in our quaint space here this morning, but also those that will join us at home, whether it be on by viewing our television channel, KLPS Channel 18, or watching on our YouTube page, which is not only available on our Liberty Public Schools page, but also you can access that through our district website. So a great opportunity for those that can, those that cannot connect with us in person, those that take advantage by watching on their computers. So who are we going to lead off with? Who drew the short straw? Yeah, D. Rosecrans, the short straw. Vaughn Gulliford is going to come up. She is our director of nutrition services here in Liberty Public. We have so many presenting today. I've got to get everything together. I also want to thank Mr. Andy Rothman, our Board of Education president, for being here this morning and taking the time out to join us. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Vaughn, and just so you know, each department will present, I think, for 8-10 minutes or so, and they would also obviously be available at the conclusion of this to answer any questions. So, Vaughn, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Dallas. And thank you to all of you for your time today and the opportunity to present about nutrition services. Our vision is simple. It's feeding dreams for your children, our students, and our future. We have a highly skilled team that is focused every day on serving our students, staff, and community with integrity, excellence, through partnerships and innovation, and with compassion. We are a big business. We have 115 staff that serve 1.29 million lunches, million lunches, 160,000 breakfasts, 87,000 after-school snacks, and 66,000 summer school meals every year. For every dollar of revenue generated, about 40% goes to food and supplies, and the same for labor, about 40%. So what is the National School Lunch Program and the National School Breakfast Program? It was signed into law in 1946 by President Harry Truman. It is a federally assisted and regulated meal program that is audited for compliance by the state. It provides low-cost or free meals to children. The requirements around the program ensure healthy foods to increase academic performance of the students and their personal health. It also ensures that the meals provided in the program are compliant with the dietary guidelines for Americans. The major reforms in the program came with the passage of the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act of 2010. It addressed the requirement of fruits that we need to provide in the program. It increased both the quantity and the variety of fruits. It created groups of vegetables that we had to serve and provide to the students. It required that of all the grains served in the program, 50% needed to be whole grains. It addressed the amount of fat that could be provided in the milk to the students in the cafeterias. It targeted sodium limits. It created calorie ranges by age group. It put limits on saturated fat. It eliminated trans fats. It also required that schools implement wellness policies that recognize the whole school environment. And it set federal requirements that all foods offered to students during the school day outside of breakfast and lunch program meet smart snack standards. Examples of these foods would be a la carte foods sold in the cafeterias. It would be foods sold in student stores, snack bars, vending machines, and also foods sold during the day in school fundraisers. The exception to the fundraisers would be foods that were not meant for consumption during the school day, or if they had received an exemption. Missouri does allow a maximum of 5 fundraisers per school per year of one-day exemptions where the foods do not need to meet smart snack standards. Oops. Go back here. So the other things that drive our menu outside of all the regulations would be student input, surveys and participation, would be market trends and seasonal availability, accountability to student allergies and special diets, and our partnerships. This is a sampling of the many partnerships that we work very closely with to procure and provide quality food and appealing food for the students for their meals. At this time, I want to introduce Julie Lasserre. She is the Nutrition Services Coordinator for Operations, and she's going to speak to you on the communication, education, and outreach side of our program.
Good morning. Communicating is a task for all of school districts and definitely nutrition services, and it is an ever-evolving opportunity to meet people where they are. And so one of the really neat things that we've been able to do is we have an innovative and interactive app and program called School Cafe. It is an interactive opportunity for parents to see the menu, allergy information, nutrient information, interact by telling us their favorites, or if a menu item was a dud. They also can apply for free and reduced priced meals right there within the app, or they can manage their students' balance, make a prepayment, monitor their students' purchases, set restrictions. All of that information is available in a mobile format and on their desktop. So we really love School Cafe. It allows students to make a tray. They can plot what they're going to choose for that day. It isn't an order, but it's a plan, and they can see if those nutrients fit into their own menu and their own nutritional guidelines. We're also in social media. We encourage you to follow us. We are sharing the good news about all the wonderful foods that we offer, the variety, the fresh opportunities, and sharing things about our staff because they are dedicated and passionate about what they do. You can find us in Facebook, in Twitter, in Instagram, and on YouTube. We're available to share that information everywhere that our customers might be. Nutrition education. Our menu is part of our education every day. We offer variety, moderation, portions. We offer a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables. It really teaches kids what a menu should look like, what a meal should look like, and what balance is. We don't have to preach that. We offer it every day. Another thing we can do is to communicate with families via email and Blackboard messages, phone calls, signage in the cafeteria, letting kids know the fun things we're offering. It's not nutrition unless they eat it. So how do we help them want to try it? These are some items that we have done this fall for Try Day Friday. Try Day Friday is offered on the first Friday of every month. We offer out a sample for a student to try, and elementary school students get a sticker that said, "I tried it." Let me tell you, stickers drive participation. They want to try that food. They want to have the sticker. How many of you wore your voting sticker this week? So Try Day Friday is an exciting opportunity to have kids try things and then start to eat them on a regular basis in a pressure-free environment. We also are very involved in community activities involving health fairs, community fairs, LCHAT, PTA events, and reading in the classroom. Nutrition Services is available to help make those connections and create community partnerships. We also have been reaching out to create internships and helping RISE students create life and working skills in our school cafeterias in the high schools. And if your student would be interested, we'd love to have them for culinary arts, nutrition, and dietetics, or opportunities in our internship programs. What does the future of nutrition services look like? Definitely technology will continue to drive much of what we do, from reaching our customers, customer service, safety, food safety, maintaining our freezers, information sharing, also food trends. Food trends are an important part of the consumer's diet. We want parents and students to know how those trends will affect our school meals and that they can continue to offer them. We want to meet our customers' expectations. Our customers expect restaurant quality with home-cooked flavors every day. And we are always striving to do that bigger and better. Research and development. We are developing menus and recipes that meet the needs of the future to create sustainable programs, both for our earth, our community, and school meals. How about culturally diverse foods? Our students are definitely interested in lots of flavors and lots of different products. So we are looking for items that meet our Midwest flavor palette and also a very diverse palette. And then the evolution of education. Where are our students? Will they be in classrooms? Will they be in all the buildings with 4 walls? Do we bring meals to them where they're studying or where their class goes? Can we meet them at the door on their way in and on their way out when they're attending internships and opportunities? So there's a lot of things that are changing the evolution of school meals, and we are up for the innovative challenge to be there and to be there in the future. Thank you for your opportunity to share nutrition services with you. And we encourage you to follow us on social media. We have some great news to share.
Thank you, Julie. My name is Jeff Baird. I'm the Director of Transportation at Liberty Schools, and I want to talk a little bit about what it takes to get children to where they need to go to learn. There's a business side to transportation that we all face. Last year, we drove 947,000 miles in school buses. We took 3,174 buses on athletic trips, and we consumed 173,500 gallons of diesel fuel. That's a lot. Student transportation is very closely regulated by the state and by district policy. Drivers are closely monitored and they're subject to random testing. Transportation is part of the calculation that determines how much state funding Liberty gets. There's a transportation component to that. Every day, 117 employees support 91 buses on 382 routes. Those 382 routes have 3,345 bus stops. That includes ECC, elementary, middle school, and senior high. And on average, we take 18 field trips a day. We also have a need to get better. Continuous improvement's a big part of the transportation operation at Liberty. One thing that we're working on this year is reducing travel time. We need to have students on the bus as short as possible so that their attention span is focused on learning, not getting through a long bus ride. In order to do that, we have to make changes to routes and schedules and times that are complicated. In order to do that, we have these routing considerations, and this is just a sampling of it. You can hardly see the school bus for the considerations, and we need to actually integrate them into what we do with student routes. When you look at the bus picture, it looks a lot different without those considerations in front of them. Establishing a bus route begins with summer school, and we basically take the existing routes, the student population and demographics, and we put them through the test to see if they're going to support this year's enrollments. That can cause difficulty if you have changing demographics, changing student populations, and new developments come up around the district. I highlighted 3 sets of criteria on the slide here, and these are just examples of how we are challenged to create safe routes. Stop creation in private property. We may want to stop on a corner that has 11 kids getting on a bus with no sidewalks, but the house owner at that corner may object to that, may object to the kids on the grass, and may object to the placement of the stop. We have to navigate through that in each situation, making the best decision for the district. Also, parental concerns and state regulation. We may want to stop where traffic patterns are high. That causes a problem. Placement of the stop needs to be exactly where it is according to state guidelines. There are certain situations that you cannot place a stop at. The third conflict is high volume roads and ride times. 112th Street is a particular challenge in our district between B Highway West. And we do everything we can to keep buses off of that. We got patron feedback that said buses on that street are a problem. We studied it and we made adjustments to routes so that only those buses that have stops in that area may travel on 112th Street. And we do an audit every month to make sure that we're complying. So transportation is a pretty complex logistical puzzle. When we hire a new driver, there's a lot of training to do. There's 240 hours that they'll endure training to get behind the wheel of a bus. And there's 3 milestones that they overcome, and each one's progressively more anxious. The first one is getting your learner's permit. You have to pass 4 tests with the Department of Transportation in order to get your learner's permit. You then have to learn through 240 hours of training how to drive a school bus, how to drive it safely, how to manage students, how to check the bus for defects twice a day. Now your second difficult point is getting that license. And when you get that, you select a route, you get behind the wheel, and you practice it until you learn it. Now you have the third milestone, getting on a bus, learning the route with 50 students behind you who are glad that school's over today. One of the challenges that we have is that there are slightly less than 13,000 students with parents who believe that their students' needs are the most important in the district. As a parent, I can't argue with that. However, we have to manage transportation in a way that operates best for the district. So when we have a conflict, we have to work through it. It's a logistical challenge with a strategic focus, and there can be emergencies. There are times when students forget to tell their parents that they went to their friend's house after school. That creates a lost student. There's times when we have snow, road closings, and changes in student enrollment that require a rapid response. So we're here to serve, and I have some contact information on the screen that's also available on the website. We've got phone numbers and links to inquiries that you can do as a parent to ask questions about transportation. And finally, one of the greatest dangers that we have in the school district is the stop sign. On the way here today, I had a driver stop me and say 6 cars have gone through their stop sign this week. And we find that that's a real challenge to what we do as drivers. We report them to the police, but as you all know, in Illinois, there was a recent tragedy with a car that went through a bus stop sign. So I encourage all drivers to pay attention, and we thank you for stopping at the stop sign.
Thank you, Jeff. Hi, good morning. My name is Kathy Ellermeyer. I'm the Director of Health Services for the Liberty School District. And this is my 13th year in this role, and much of my team has been with me the whole time, and we just really love serving students. And I brought one of my, I need to advance this slide, don't I? This is Jill Bracken at Liberty Oaks Elementary, and this picture, actually, she looks exactly the same. She does not age. It was taken in 2007. She was here at Liberty Oaks when Liberty Oaks was opened as a new building, and so it just shows a really great picture of the longevity in our department. And I brought one of my favorite books with me that is from one of our nurses found it, and I've kept it in our archives. In the inside, it's called School Health Services, written cooperatively by the NEA and the AMA, so the National Education Association and American Medical Association. And a little handwritten note in here, purchased in 1964 for $5, and the stamp of Liberty Public Schools in it. And so I love that history. I love to see that school nursing has been valued in our district for that long, because we know there was school nursing dating back to 1964, probably earlier. And so that's a really neat piece. One of the things in this book is a note that goes home to a parent back in the 40s when they took care of head lice. And it's kind of a scary note, because back in the 40s, you applied kerosene and lard to your head, and this kid would have to apply that, they'd apply it at home, cover yourself with a towel, and sleep all night with kerosene absorbing into your scalp. Can you imagine? So that was the treatment in the 40s from head lice, for head lice. So I love that piece of history. I love that this is in our archives here in the district. And also just how LPS values the whole student and caring for the whole student. And as you've heard today, just with nutrition services with Vaughn and Jeff with transportation, and hopefully you'll hear from nursing too, that in our district, we care about the whole student, and we have to educate and prepare the whole student, and not just that student in the classroom. We look at their entire piece so that they are successful where they go in life and in the classroom especially. So our mission statement, we want to care for these kids and take care of their health needs, but we also want them to be independent as they grow older in their health decisions and in their health treatments. So as we grow them toward independence, that's one of our goals as school nurses. We have, this is a picture of our team. And we were at a conference for professional development. But we've got, just to let you know, we have a registered nurse in every school. And in two of our busier schools, or three, I should say, we have 2 registered nurses. The high school's at 1,700 each. Cannot possibly deal with just all those kids with 1 registered nurse, so we have 2. We also have a team of 8 health aides. They are placed in buildings that support the school nurse, and they are placed where there's a greater need because of the higher student population and greater needs in those schools. So we have these registered nurses that we have, and I'm also a registered nurse in addition. The nurses are just highly experienced. When I hire nurses, they come with a great deal of clinical experience. We have ICU nurses here. We have med-surg nurses, emergency room nurses, pediatric nurses. They come from all areas, but they are experienced, and they are prepared to deal with whatever comes their way, whatever emergencies we need to deal with. And that's comforting to me, and hopefully it is to you as well. In addition, our students, we turn in a report to the state every year, to the Department of Health. We have about 12,600 students in our district, and the report that we turned in this year showed that we have almost 6,200 chronic health needs that we know of. We don't always hear the report of others, but that we know of, we have about 6,200. So if you look at some of these, I will just highlight a few. And I just highlighted a few. There's much more to this report that we turned in. So these are just highlighting a few. For example, we have 13 students that need to be tube fed while they're here, and that's how they get their nutrition. They cannot eat by mouth. They need to be tube fed. My goodness, can you imagine being a student and having to deal with a bleeding disorder at school? We have 22 of those in our district. And, you know, when they get in trouble, they need a registered nurse to help them with their bleeding disorder because they have to inject some things to help them. We have 4 students right now on chemotherapy, and I just think, oh my goodness, how do these kids, they're so resilient and they're so amazing, and they just touch our lives and touch our hearts. And just to see the types of things that they're coming with us, and that's, you know, that's what makes us as nurses come alive. We love to deal and help these students with these issues. Attention deficit disorder is a large one. It is only topped by asthma at almost 1,300 asthma, 1,254 with attention deficit disorder. And then we can't ignore our mental health, anxiety and depression. And that's a sad snapshot of kind of our society as a whole in the United States, the increase of anxiety and depression we have seen over the recent years, and you see it in the student population as well. So that's just kind of a little snapshot. So what is the role of a school nurse? Well, last year we logged nearly 150,000 visits to the nurses. That's a lot of work going on, and that's a lot of care. And that's why we're here, and we love it. We're used to that. We're built for it, and we really enjoy it. Some of the things on the left side of the screen are the things that a nurse will do every single day. So these are things students come, how do students come with us? They come with medications. 46,000 were given last year, almost 47,000. We do daily procedures. Somebody might need help with their catheter. They might need help with their insulin management. Well, they would need help with that. So we also deal with emergencies. We had 17 911 calls last year. Kids come not feeling well. They come with chronic health conditions. They're concerned about that, or they have issues with that. We have kids coming, they're having a panic attack, they're having anxiety, they're having issues with their mental health concerns, and we address those as well. Staff also come, and so we use, they use us as a resource at times. On the right of the screen are things that we do also as part of our day. When they're not seeing students for all these reasons on the left, they are also having to do all of this on the right. We turn in an immunization report and ensure compliance with immunizations. We do screenings for the students. We have special programs. Miles of Smiles is one I will highlight. That's an on-site dental clinic that comes to some of our schools, provides dental care like extractions and root canals, and they do fillings and all kinds of things on site for our kids that would not get dental care otherwise. So we have lots of special programs that we do. We do education. We provide, usually it's incidental when we're working with students as we grow them toward independence in their health needs and health issues. We work with the Department of Health. We also have community partners. One I will highlight is Clay County Public Health Center, and they are a strong, strong partner with us. They provide, one of the things they provide, there are many things, but one of them is disease surveillance and outbreak management. So we feed them aggregate data each week, and in turn, they are able to use their epidemiologists to let us know, hey, there's an outbreak that could be happening. There's a higher incidence in fevers or whatever it is. So that's what they do with us, and they're just a strong partner. Here's one example of a sheet that they churn out every week. And you guys can see this. This is kind of an exciting one. Last year was a vigorous flu season. If you want to see the flu season charts, they are on the Clay County Public Health Center website. This is the one they just put out this week, and they just started it because the flu season is starting to, we've had maybe 8 cases this season so far of influenza positive cases. But this is cool to see compare to how it looked 5 years ago, what it is today, compared to a year ago or whatever. And so it's really great, helpful information for us, but it's also very useful for us as consumers. So you can track the flu season yourself as well on their website. But we do use this in the district to know how to respond, to see if we need extra cleaning protocols in place, and so on and so forth. So our community partners really are strong and helpful for us. The future of school nursing, it just keeps getting, healthcare continues to get more and more complex, but the future really is this school-based health center. And a school-based health center is what we're seeing in the nation right now. It's growing, and it's where there is a health clinic on site, on school district property, for students and a lot of times for staff as well, that we can go to, that we can send our students to, that a school nurse could then just send a student for continued assessment by a nurse practitioner or a physician. That's where it's going in the future. It's also going to much more managing population health and care coordination, and that just means just being, the big picture of working with families, the doctors, all being on one team so that we are coordinating care for these kids. And that's just a really important thing as healthcare gets more complex. So that's the future. And I could talk on and on because I do love what I do, and I love school nursing, and I love caring for kids. And our amazing team that we have is we all do this because we love kids and love that aspect of health services and being in this district. My contact information is there, and the website, you can find the health services tab under those two. If you go to the main website for families, and then you'll find health services. So thank you very much, and we appreciate you allowing us to take care of your kids in our district. Thank you, Dallas.
Very good. Let's give all of our presenters this morning a big round of applause. Thank you. I just, within the last couple weeks, had our state public relations school conference, and I was telling Dr. Tucker when I got back what I took away from that conference after talking to colleagues from all around the state is just how lucky I am to be in the district that I'm in, and so much of that is credited to the relationships with these leaders. I sent a tweet out a minute ago on our district page, and at the end I just said our students are in good hands, and I think when you listen to them present and just the care and compassion they have, it shows. So appreciate them being here. I'm a country music fan, and there is an entertainer by the name of Eric Church. His nickname is the Chief. Well, we have our own chief in Liberty Public Schools, and I wanted to recognize him as well. That would be Chief Operations Officer Steve Anderson, who is in the back of the room, and he oversees the departments that presented today, and want to appreciate and thank him for his leadership as well. As we look ahead, one more Coffee with the Community this semester, and I don't want to scare anyone, but the next coffee will be on December 20th. Led by our academic services team, many of whom are in the room here this morning. But the reason I don't want to scare you is so the next time we get together for our coffee, we'll have less than 5 shopping days before Christmas. So that's scary. But we knew it was going to happen. The semester is flying by. But we have Dr. Beth Heidi. We have Dr. Dixon Seahorn with us, Dr. Julie Moore. We have Dr. Jeanette Westfall in the room representing academic services today. They take center stage coming up next month, and they will give us an update on all the happenings within our academic services department. So we hope you can make plans to join us then. Another reminder that we will have today's meeting available online probably just here in the next few days, and we will be sure to push that out in our various outlets. So thanks again for being with us here this morning. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll look forward to talking to everybody next month.